Some of you may have been having trouble with the comparison process, and I think that some of us are maybe a little reluctant to fully engage in the steps you just want to write. But if you're having trouble writing comparisons, in particular for the ones we assign, I did an example here, which I would like to go over with in the screencast. So let's take a look at it. So our task was to compare the Persian and Peloponnesian Wars, and I put my examples, my red work, done in pencil in red print. So, so we looked at this idea. We have to come up with some comparative criteria. So as you read about these two wars, I decided the two things I might use as comparative criteria would be cause of the war and how the war impacted Greek society. Remember, when you're doing comparison, you have to have criteria. So if you're comparing two cars, for example, you might want to look at the cost to own and maybe its function or utility. And that way you're making a straight line comparison. So what I did was I have it abbreviated here in the table. For the Persian Wars and the Peloponnesian Wars, we look first off at the causes and then the impact. So we're comparing the Persian and Peloponnesian Wars in terms of cause and impact. So you look under the causes. In the cause of the Persian War, we have outside invaders, the Persians, who came to punish Athens for support of a rebellion in Ionia, which is modern-day western coast of Turkey. Sparta and other Greek cities come to the aid of Athens. In the Peloponnesian Wars, Athens dominates the Greek policies and uses the Delian treasury to rebuild the city. Sparta grows concerned and leads an alliance of Greek cities to stop Athens. Sparta gets help from Persia, among others, to win a war that lasts nearly 30 years. So the second piece we're looking at is impact. The impact of the Persian War is that the Greek cities are concerned about another invasion, and they join Athens to form a defensive league called the Delian League. So it brought Greek cities together. The Peloponnesian War, we see Athens is crushed. It would no longer be a leading power in Greece. The Golden Age ends in Athens, and cities continue to fight until they're united by the outsider, the Macedonians. So I put these down, and I have to take that information, meaning that the things I'm comparing, and I have to create two clear comparative claims. So my one issue looks at the cause. So I have, while the Persian War was caused by society outside of Greece, the Peloponnesian War was caused by a conflict within the competing policies of Greece. Now, the second issue, we were looking at the impact. So I came up with a claim the Persian War would force Greek cities to work together as Greeks against a common enemy, while the Peloponnesian War would shatter cooperation among the cities and weaken Greek unity. So I did that for both. I have two claims. So now we have to have a thesis. So I got to take those two claims and put them together in a thesis. So I said wars in Hellenic Greece significantly shaped the history of this important classical civilization. While the outside invasion of the Persians would unite Greek cities and elevate Athens as a leading city, the confidence and power of Athens would lead to rivalries among Greek cities, ending its golden age and the power of Athens. Now, if you have once you have that thesis, you need to add a little bit for your introduction. There's your first paragraph. Your second and third paragraph are led by the claims we've already talked about. So here we have it. So I introduced the idea of Greece. You have to bring your reader into your topic and not just hit them over the head. So I say classical Western history had its start in the city-states that arose in Greece during the Hellenic Age. This period, Greek culture was politically divided into many competing city-states called polises, including Athens and Sparta. Wars in Hellenic Greece significantly shaped the history of this important classical civilization. Here's my thesis now. While the outside invasion of the Persians would unite the Greek cities and elevate Athens as a leading city, the confidence and power of Athens would lead to rivalries among Greek cities, ending its golden age and the power of Athens. So I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but we take a look at the next paragraph, and I have my claim. While the Persian War was caused by a society outside of Greece, the Peloponnesian War was caused by the conflict within the competing policies of Greece. So then I take my information that I have in the table and I place it underneath there. But look at the last sentence of that second paragraph, because you have to explain, how does your evidence support your claim? While the Persian Wars were caused by a common non-Greek enemy, the Peloponnesian War was caused by rivalries between Greek cities. So I kind of lead that into the idea of jealousy between the cities, and I transition there into the Peloponnesian War because it does transition kind of conveniently. So the next paragraph, I lead with my second claim. The Persian Wars would force Greek city-states to work together as Greeks against a common enemy, while the Peloponnesian War would shatter cooperation among the cities that weaken Greek unity. So then I take all the information I had on my table about the impact of the wars, And then I kind of end up with these point. This league would be a source of rivalry between Athens and Sparta and would eventually lead to the Peloponnesian War, nearly a 30-year war that shattered Greek unity and ended the golden age of Athens and its leadership in Greece. So I kind of explained and put that to the end. Then my conclusion is I have to take my two claims and connect them to the thesis. So I said the Persian and Peloponnesian War would, in effect, shape golden age of Greece. The unity created by the Persian invasion would unite the Greek cities, elevate Athens into its golden age, while the rivalries caused by Athens' rise would destroy the unity. So I'm looking at the causes and impact of both of those wars, and that sums it up pretty well. So you want to get better at this stuff. First off, you need to know your material, and you have to have a clear pattern of which way to look at it. And if you don't have a clean pattern, you can't develop claims in a thesis. So let's hopefully I want you guys today to make sure you put. We're going to get a chance to take a look at each other's work. Please post your work on your Greek comparisons, and then for the rest of the class, it's all posted there on Google Classroom what we need to do. So let's make sure we get all those things taken care of today. The documentary and the notes we'll be working on today and a little bit tomorrow.